Hey everyone, it's Ali, back again with another video. For today's video, I'm going to be doing something different. Did you guys know that fast fashion is unethical? Did you know that fast fashion is bad for the environment and is responsible for greenhouse emissions? If you didn't, that's fine because a lot of people aren't aware of this issue. But I thought it'd be necessary for me as a fashion YouTuber to discuss many of the controversies surrounding the fast fashion industry. Get ready to be shocked by this video because I'm going to be spilling the beans for a lot of your favorite brands that we all buy from. And if that sounds interesting, then let's hop into it. Well, to begin with, a lot of these name brand retailers that we all buy from have been accused of human rights violations. Yes, most of these companies that we buy clothing from have warehouses and factories. They're basically sweatshops all over the world, and the conditions of these factories are just downright terrible. Firstly, the factories are very unhygienic, so there are already health problems that come up in working in these types of places. But besides that, the conditions that the workers are kept in are just terrible. With long hours and a low pay rate, many workers are exploited in these jobs. And there have also been reports that a lot of these workers are subject to physical and even, unfortunately, sexual abuse at times, since most of these sweatshop workers are largely proportionally females. Popular name brands such as Zara, Nike, Adidas, and even Gap have all been indirectly linked to human rights violations such as low wages, unfair working hours, and even harsh working conditions. Another big issue that the fast fashion industry is responsible for is that it's just downright terrible for the environment. There has been a ton of research to indicate that the fast fashion industry is responsible for at least 4% of greenhouse emissions. That's mainly because the warehouses that they make their clothes in emit a lot of greenhouse gas. Another reason as to why fast fashion is really hurting the environment is that it literally takes 3,000 liters of water to produce one cotton shirt. Just do the math for that one. Think of how much water that takes up just to make one shirt. Moreover, the water that is left over from the cotton production is really toxic for the environment, especially for sea wildlife, as it contains a lot of harmful toxin. It has been estimated that about 20% of the wastewater comes from the fast fashion industry alone. As I said before, it is really bad for the environment, and a lot of these warehouses where these clothes are made are overseas, meaning that there aren't as many strict environmental regulations as in some other countries. What does this mean? This means that all the wastewater that is made from these warehouses are dumped right back into the ocean, which creates all these issues for the environment. So, what's the solution then? If fast fashion is unethical and unsustainable, then what can we as people do to mitigate the harsh impacts that it has on the world? There is one solution to this problem, but again, it's complicated, and let me explain. The one real solution to unsustainable clothing is to instead opt for sustainable clothing. The good thing about sustainable clothing is that they don't exploit their workers. They give them a fair wage along with fair working hours. So you can feel good about the fact that the clothing you wear wasn't made by people in a sweatshop. Another good thing about it is that they use better material. They use recyclable material that actually won't damage the planet in the long run. So with that in mind, clothing bought from a sustainable brand would actually last you a lot longer than clothing bought from a fast fashion brand. This in turn saves you a lot more money in the long run. If you guys want to shop for sustainable clothing, I'll link some clothing brands in the description down below so you can check them out. Unfortunately, sustainable clothing has its own set of problems, which is why they're not so popular as some of these name fast fashion brands. The number one problem that sustainable clothing has is that it's expensive. I will be very honest about that. Sustainable clothing is a lot more expensive than fast fashion brands, and it makes total sense why too. They don't exploit their workers and they use better material in their clothing, so it will obviously be more expensive. If you want to compare the prices between a fast fashion and a sustainable brand, then let's have a look. COS is a sustainable brand that I have talked about in my channel before, as I think they do have good clothing. But one t-shirt from COS costs $35. Yes, $35 for a t-shirt, while a t-shirt from H&M goes up to 15 bucks. There is obviously a huge difference in payment in that, and if you can't afford sustainable clothing and you don't know about any of these issues that I've talked about, you would obviously opt for the cheaper piece. Sustainable clothing is a small solution to a much larger issue, but the real way that we as people can really address the issue is to raise awareness about it. That's the main reason that I made this video. We should do whatever it is that we can do to bring about as much awareness as possible about this issue. More and more people should really know the harsh impacts that fast fashion has on the environment and in the world, because there aren't that many people that know about it. So bringing awareness to this issue will bring light into it, and the more people that are aware of it, the more likely some changes will happen. That is about it for this video. This video was a bit different than the rest of my videos. I think this was more or less a video essay, but let me know what you guys thought about this video. If you liked it, let me know down in the comments, and if you did, please leave a like and a subscription. It would really mean a lot to me. If you liked it, I might make more of these types of videos in the future, henceforward. So let me know what you thought. Anyways, this is me signing off for this one. Have a good one. Peace.